Welcome back to the farmstead. Today we're going to be making bread, and this is a new bread to me. I have made bread before, but we have cut down a lot on our bread intake this year, hoping to reduce some of our gluten intake. And so in looking for a product that was lower in gluten but would still give us the taste of bread, I ran across the story of einkorn flour. Now, einkorn flour is what they call the ancient grains. It is a wheat product. It is, this package said, is the only wheat product that has never been hybridized. So it is non-GMO. And this is a pack that I got from Azure Standard. So I'm fairly certain that this is one of the best that you can get. So we're going to give it a shot today. Now we're going to make one loaf, plain sandwich bread, and see how we like it. So to get started, we're going to use my measuring cups. We're going to put 4.5 cups into our mixer. And we're going to let the mixer do all the work for us today. So this is a 2-cup measure. So there's 2, 4.5. So this is a recipe that I found online, and I can link it below if you'd like to give it a try. So there's our 4.5 cups of our einkorn flour. All right, so we'll set that over here out of the way. And to that, we're going to add, let's see what we're going to start with. We're going to start with a teaspoon of salt. We're going to pour that right in. We're going to start with 1 pack of yeast. Put that right in. And then this recipe said add a 1/4 teaspoon of ginger. Never added ginger to my bread before, but it said that it's highly recommended. Not necessary, but recommended. So we're going to give it a shot. So 1/4 teaspoon of ground ginger. And of course, I get it all over me. But, that's cooking. Now I have 1.5 cups of warm water. This water is between 100 and 115 degrees. Anything warmer than that will kill your yeast, and we don't want to do that. So to that, we're going to add 1 tablespoon of honey. Now to get my honey to come out of the spoon better, I'm going to spray it with a little cooking spray. And put the honey in there to measure it up. And it should slide right out of there. Pretty good. How about that? All right, so we're going to mix this up. Mix this together. Now, I'm not one that likes to knead bread. There are some folks who that's very therapeutic for, and they love it. I don't. I like the ones where you put it in the mixer and let the mixer do the work. So that's what we're doing. So we're going to pour this in here. Slowly, it says. I'm going to put my dough hook on here. We're going to turn this on and let it start mixing. And once we get it all incorporated, we're going to let it mix itself for 10 minutes. We've never been really much on eating a lot of bread, but of course we like it with sandwiches, although we've gone more to where we will just eat the meat and cheese. But every once in a while, I do want bread for some reason or another, to have with a meal or to make a sandwich. And I've just been wanting something that was a little bit healthier than store-bought, processed, all that kind of good stuff. So I'm anxious to see how this will taste and if it'll rise. It's always been my thing with making breads, rolls, anything that has yeast, is getting it to rise. I've been successful only about 50% of the time, but that doesn't deter me. I'm going to keep on trying. All right, so this is coming together into a dough. The rest Okay, while that gets started, I'm going to check my recipe, make sure I got everything. We got our flour, water, yeast, honey, salt, and the ginger. Okay. All right, 10 minutes are up. So we're going to take out our dough hook. I got to admit, this is a little bit wetter dough than I would have thought, but we're going to go with it. Let's scrape it off our dough hook. Off you go. It's got some elasticity to it, that's for sure. Okay, I'll set that right over here. All right. We're going to scrape down our bowl. That's what we end up with. Kind of stuck to the bowl. I'm going to pile it all up in the middle. It is very elastic, but it is very stuck to the bowl. But, like I say, we're going to go with it. Pulls away if you really work with it. Okay. You can do that. Okay. Now we have us a nice blob right in the center. Going to cover it with our cling wrap, and we're going to set it in a warm place for 25 minutes. Then we will transfer it to our bread pan, and it'll rise another 20. All right. So I'm going to move this to my warm place, set my timer, and wait for 25 minutes. Okay, our bread's been sitting for 25 minutes, and it has risen some. We're going to take the cling wrap off. Oh, nice. Nice rise on that. All right, so I'm going to put a little more flour in my bowl here. Get on my hands. I have a loaf pan that I have sprayed with cooking spray. I would use baking spray, but I'm all out of it. So here's what we're using. All right. Get the dough out of the pan. And just work it till it will roll out for you. Easier said than done. Very elastic dough. See if we can do this. I'm sure all you bread makers are cringing at my skills here, but that's what I got. There we go. All right. See how elastic? I'm going to try not to mess with this too much. I'm going to just kind of shape it into a loaf. Drop it in my pan. Voila. All right, I'm going to wash my hands. And then it says to cover this with some cling wrap. And I'm going to spray that. It says to spray that first. So I'm going to do that. And then we're going to let this sit for 20 minutes, and then we'll bake it. All right, wash my hands. Okay, so it's a clean piece of cling wrap. See if we can keep it from clinging to itself for just a minute. Spray it. And cover it. All right, back to our warm place, which is on top of my stove because it has pilot light and it stays a little warm all the time. 20 minutes, and then we're gonna bake it at 375 for 35 to 40 minutes. Wish us luck. Time's up. See what we got. Oh my. Look at that. How long do we have to wait before we turn it out and cut us a piece? Turns out the answer is long enough to melt some butter to put on it. All right, let's give this a try. Woohoo! Amazing. Crusty, warm. Oh. I love the heel. Maybe you like the heel. Look at that. Smells so good. All right, let's cut us a couple pieces. Maybe I should have used a cutting board. This is just some real butter, unsalted. You don't have to melt it. I need to melt the butter for something else, so that's what we're doing. Give it a try. So good. Tastes like fresh bread. Doesn't taste like processed. I'll be making this a lot. Hope you've learned a little bit. Hope I've inspired you to step out of your comfort zone and try something a little different. I know I'm glad I did. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.